Good evening and welcome. Welcome to the rather magnificent Michelham Priory. I am here all night in this remarkable medieval structure. I'm sitting currently in the splendid dining room, not at the dining room table though, just in case I don't damage it. So I'm propped up in here in a building that has been locked down literally since March. So there are all sorts of interesting wildlife in a building that has been closed for such a long time. Unfortunately, quite a few dead bumblebees. It's quite sad to see. But if anyone remembers Spidergate from Wimmering Manor a couple of weeks ago, well, nothing compared to what I have got for you this evening. We have got double Spidergate on a scale that puts Wimmering Manor into, well, insignificance, I would say. So all night we will be looking round this magnificent property. We have cameras not only in this main part of the Priory, but we have them out in the Gatehouse as well. I've switched off all the microphones at the moment, so we're not contaminated with any of the data. There is a bird nesting in the Gatehouse, and occasionally you hear them screaming. So if I've got that microphone on, you're going to enjoy that when that goes off. I have kitchen, let me show you full screen. So we have the Gatehouse, and that bathes in that lovely blue light. You can see it's currently daylight outside. We're reaching twilight at 9 o'clock. It will be getting darker and darker. And we have an opportunity of looking up the stairs, see if anything's going to mobilize itself throughout the evening. And we have a camera in the kitchen, the old Tudor kitchen of the Priory. I have got other cameras, which I will be showing you later. And in about an hour, we will be moving upstairs and moving up to the bedrooms and the great Prior's room, which I know if anyone's ever been here knows is a rather spectacular room. So we are very lucky and very privileged indeed to be in this magnificent property. Part of the archaeological Sussex past, the great charity. You will see running down the bottom of the banner a little text message. And basically, if you would like to support great charities such as this, you have an opportunity by texting that number. There is a link in the text as well to Just Giving page, I think it is, so you can donate money that way. But basically, it's to ensure the opening of these properties. You know, all of these properties require tourist traffic, the visitors, and of course, the summer is a great time for this, and that has been wiped out. We're probably not opening until late July into August, so they've got an opportunity of catching some of the market there. But that then keeps them going because, of course, all these great locations close over the winter. So basically, as we are fully opening, they are then closing. So it's very important that once we get the safe opportunity to visit these locations, then we should certainly do so in as safety as much as we can and support them in any way. This is an opportunity where you can do that. So have a look at the website, have a look at the information on the screen, and do support Sussex Past in any way you can. Volunteering, anything. There's a lot of dead insects need sweeping up. So throughout the evening, I will have your opportunity to talk to me. And so if there's anything you want to say, so for example, someone saying happy birthday, so Tammy saying hello. Oh, message. It's Mum's birthday today. We've been waiting to watch. Could you give her a shout out, please? Her name's Laurie Donovan. Well, already done. Leslie, hello. Good to have you join us. So you have the opportunity, obviously, of having your say and letting me know where you want to go. I can be moving around the house later. Now, we are limited. We are pushing, and hello, Sharon. Good to have you on board. We are pushing the technology to its limits here because we use, if anyone's ever been to Michelham Priory, you know there is no signal here at all. So we are pushing our technology to the limits and so getting signal out. So I'm going for 4 at the moment. I potentially will be going for 5, and who knows, if I'm feeling ambitious, we might go for 6 cameras. But it will deteriorate in the signal quality as we go. So I will let you have a listen to the Gatehouse, one of the most impressive structures. It is the old structure from way back from the 1200s. I think it's established actually 1400, the Gatehouse, slightly later. But anyone knows who coming across that bridge, you've got the looming Gatehouse. And it's certainly, for me, in terms of the visuals I've done here, one of the most impressive structures with the most amount of activities, the most sinister spaces. So we on the first floor, we could move the cameras up to the second floor, but it's completely empty. And I just wondered whether some objects in the room would look better with a camera. So I'm going to take the microphone off and let you look at the Gatehouse. The sound you are hearing is now a mixture of the Gatehouse and my camera. I'm going to mute my camera and let you just have the Gatehouse. No, Rosemary, the camera hasn't frozen. Basically, just let watch that. I'm going to let you watch the stairs for a bit. So we're back. Well, I'm back anyway. So I'm letting you see those imagery inside the kitchen and the stairs. Now I've got some lights on at the moment so you can get a feel for the space. And obviously you can see there is still a little bit of light from outside coming in. I'm looking facing a window right now. As we get darker, I will be taking out some of these lights and moving over to night vision. So in fact, what I will do, I'll switch this camera off now and show you a night vision one I have in the front parlour room, which is looking at an infamous cot, which some of you might know about. So I'll see what I can do. Keep watching the stairs, and I'll take my camera out. So the picture I have shown you, sorry if anyone's on headphones, I'll try and introduce my voice a little bit quieter. The picture I'm showing you is the front room with all the curtains closed. It's probably not to be seen often. You can see there is a crib or a cot, and we'll be interested to see whether there's any movement in that space. So at the moment that room is completely dark. I can verify that for you by taking off my vision. And you can see the only light coming is the room that I'm in, so I'm by the doorway. So that's the only light going into that space at the moment. See, and as it gets darker outside, and obviously I'm going to switch the lights off in here, then you have a better sense of that space. Right, I am coming back and I'm speaking nice and quietly for you, so that if it was on headphones, I haven't suddenly made a record noise. So I'm Jonathan from Dark Encounters. Welcome to this live lockdown video. So I am here in the absolutely magnificent Michelham Priory, and I'm here for the next couple of hours, running a vigil so that you can join in from the safety of your own home. So the first half we will be downstairs in this magnificent property, and then we'll be moving cameras upstairs. I'm not trying to put too many because we have a limited bandwidth and I don't want to make sure that we don't run out of signal while we're here. So if there's anything you see, anything you hear, if there's anything you would like me to do in terms of calling out experiments, just let me know and I will go into those spaces for you. What I will do, I will walk into the room that you're now looking at, but just let you know that the microphone I'm using is connected to this computer. So as I move away, you won't be able to hear me very well, but at least you'll be able to see me. Bear with me a second. But it is really dark in here. There's lots of different things available. So welcome everyone. You are live lockdown video. My designs are coming outside. So we have these cameras locked down at the moment, but I can move them within a music because there's only certain areas of hotspots we have at one time. But the camera, for example, I'm using one is looking at this and let you watch this, and this does move throughout the night, so you can see where it is. But I can move round into the dining room. And I can let you watch this space instead and look at the footsteps on the stairs, and maybe you'll be able to see something moving. And at the moment, anyway, you can be looking here. No, I don't know if you heard any of that because I did walk away from the camera. Oh, muffled, yes, no, as I thought. Oh, Becky saw a ghost on my left-hand side. Interesting. So yes, unfortunately, I left the microphone on this computer, which I'm using to interface with you, and not the camera that was facing. So unfortunately, you probably didn't hear that. But what I was saying is I can move this camera around and let you see around the space. You send your instructions through the comments that I can see, and then I will try and attempt to do what you want me to do. Oops. Richard says he thought there might have been something that walked across the room. That'd be interesting. As if you did hear me, I couldn't actually see what I was doing in there. I knew the crib was down to my left-hand side, but I couldn't even see where it was. Not left side of you, left side of the screen, which was my right. And Roseberry has seen an orb. Someone was asking earlier about whether this is recorded. This is recorded. Now, what I will be doing as well is I will be setting up some night vision cameras that are higher res. The advantage with that is that I can then edit them into this footage, so you get a much clearer picture of what's going on. It also records sound all the time as well, because obviously, as these all the microphones in the building are quite localized, so they only pick up sound in their vicinity. And as you saw, when I move away from the camera or around to the corner, you won't be able to hear me. So sorry, Jane, this is the front room, the parlour room, morning room of Michelham Priory. It's a room that is next door to the dining room, some far wing of the ground floor of Michelham Priory. I wonder if it would help if I open the curtains. I might do that. So Jane was just asking what room that is. Most of the cameras I have assigned a room name to make things easy. For example, if I show you the kitchen, it looks like that. If I show you the stairway, it looks like that. And we can go over to the Gatehouse. I'll put the microphone on the Gatehouse and see this thing. And I am back. So, Hayes asking if there's any cat balls. No, not in there, but there's pretty enough disturbance in that space. Yes, Diane, you are correct. It is the fireplace that Charlotte was asking about. So that's one of the sightings where someone has been seen working in the kitchen fireplace. Not kitchen, just the fireplace, cooking on that. Nikki's saying that she's been lucky to have worked and visited Priory. Very lucky, beautiful place. So I am now sitting with a cup of tea, reading some of your comments. Martin's saying it's changed. So yes, I think it's educational space. Upstairs is completely empty, and that's why I thought I'd bring the camera down to this level. Shock Investigates Japan is saying, I keep being drawn to look at it. Missing the fireplace. Donna's done a ghost hunt here. Very active place. So I'm going to take you back to my camera that I'm sitting next to. Sorry, that I'm sitting next to. That room is in darkness. There are two forms of infrared light in there. It's filling that space. But I have also put on the stairs. Oh, someone's like to see multiple. Right, you can want to see multiple screens. You can see multiple screens. I have put a rook meter, which is similar to a K2, on the stairs. So if there are any signal fluctuations in EM field on the staircase, anything that tries to pass up that staircase, it might trigger that. If you like, I will go and sit on those stairs. Thank you, Carol. I'll try and have a good night. I'll go and sit on the staircase and let me know if anything appears behind me. So I'll speed up a little bit around. So let me know if you see anything. Lindsay, the questions about so we'll try to listen to sort of how is spirits, yeah. I want to basically find out as much about you as possible. I'd like to know who you are. So if you are here, that should really sound that perhaps the microphone in front of you. Could you affect the meter with the lights on? Try and affect that in some way. Can you try and perhaps be an appearance on the stairs behind me? I can't see any comments relating, so I assume one, you can hear, and two, you see, and three, you might be seeing something. If there are any other rooms you want me to go into, do let me know. I'll see if I can use the cameras. little closer, just in case you weren't getting. Just in case you couldn't hear me, because I know that the range on this microphone is very limited. So I've done some calling out. Let me know when you saw anything. So any spirits in here in the Great Hall, the staircase, perhaps you can add some energy. Can you make an appearance on the staircase? I'll leave the area. Perhaps you can make yourself be seen on the camera in front. Thank you. Sorry guys, I'm doing all that talking, completely forgot to switch the microphone on the stairs. No wonder you couldn't hear me. Hello everyone. So Sharon was asking where this was. That was the staircase at Michelham Priory. I'm now in the dining room, and you can see the image behind me. There is one light in the corner which I could switch off, but we are in night vision. Through the door to the far end of that picture is actually the staircase that you have just been watching. So that moth might fly into this space now. Zakari saw some movement on the staircase. I'm wondering if anyone saw any shapes in that space. Do let me know. And do let me know if there's any areas you want me to go into, and whether you want me to, in fact, Billy's asking, the Friar Room. Yes, that's where we're going to be going in about 20 minutes' time. We'll be going upstairs to the upper rooms. So thank you, Susan. You saw the movement at the top of the stairs. That's where we'll be going upstairs. So it'll be interesting to see if they follow us up into the upper bedrooms and the Friar Room. Did anyone just see something move at the top of the screen? If there are any spirits here in the dining room, could you make your presence known? Could you move any of the furniture in this space? Lots of people are commenting on the figure they saw in the staircase. So I'm going to go back to the stairs. Paul is asking if there is a temperature drop. Yes, there has been a significant drop in the whole building since we've now settled the space down. I will have been measuring the temperature so far, and it's been a 3-degree temperature drop. If there are any spirits out on the staircases, I'm going to put the microphone on. Perhaps you could make a noise on the staircase that everyone could hear. Jackie thinks that she saw something by the cot. There's something on the floor which I can't quite make out. Kazzy, where do you think you see the figure? So some people have seen a very tall figure by the window on the left-hand side, and someone else is seeing a light patch. So I'm going to walk into that space, see if I can work out without tripping over what they are. So I've just been joined by Lindsay, who scared the life out of me because I didn't know. It's very dark in this room, and I didn't know she was actually standing next to me when I came back and sat down. So actually, Lindsay, now you're here.
I just came in to actually say something. Because,
Yes.
one of the comments that just came up was about a really tall person by the window.
Right, yeah.
2 or 3 years ago, probably like 3 years ago, we took a picture late at night when we finished doing our wedding in this way, into the studio room, and we got what looks like a maid, and she's really, really tall. So it just kind of made me think about that.
So Angie's saying the tall figure is freaky. Can you, Angie, are you saying you can still see the tall figure? Because I could certainly, before whoever said they saw it, I thought I could see what they were talking about, but obviously I went to the window, there was no one there. It's Maria's saying it's from middle of the curtains. Oh yeah, the light patch on the floor. I think that I couldn't see it when I was in there, but I think now, yes, it's light from outside. Oh, I can sort of see that tall figure again.
There is also a figure of a man seen by the grandfather, and that's quite a big amount as well.
So keep an eye on the, is it a grandfather clock? Or I'm guessing it's grandfather clock. Yeah. The grandfather clock in the corner. Let me know whether you see any figures standing there. There's a small figure next to the window and a tall figure. It's a small figure.
Again, that has been seen before. The table that's in that room, there is normally a shadow the size of a child that runs around that table. It's been seen before.
Quite a busy room then.
Yeah, really busy.
So since I do have Lindsay with me, if you've got any questions about the Priory or Sussex Past, let us know in your comments, and we can do our best to answer them for you. In about 10 minutes, we'll be moving over to the Gatehouse, so you can monitor the Gatehouse while we move the cameras upstairs. I do need to get one of the cameras to go and let you see the pet tarantulas they seem to have here. Do they have names? Do they have names?
Probably should name them. Somebody did ask about secret properties as well. So maybe we can show them.
When we go upstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can try, yes, if the signal can go. Oh, we can't hear very well, so I think we both need to be facing it. You need to come in close. They can't see you, Lindsay, don't worry. Share my seat.
Yeah, I'll put them here.
Right, so Donna, yes, Donna, Lindsay is moving forward so that you hopefully can hear properly. Actually saying lots of activity in that room. Oh, there you go. Jill is asking, what are the ages of the building? There you go.
The building was first built here, the original section, in 1229, and it has been added on. So the room you're looking at the moment is the Tudor extension.
Oh, Paul's asking a question.
Poltergeist activity. Not really. We don't have things move around so much. It's a lot of noises. You hear a lot of noises here. You see the odd thing as well. I have seen shadow figures. I've had people, when I've been upstairs in the top flat, talking to me in my ear, and there's been absolutely no other living person up there. So yeah, it's more about noises and corner of the eye phenomenon, really.
I mean, I think generally what I've encountered every time I've come here is there is this sense of being watched. You never feel alone, but it's remarkably comfortable. There are certain areas where you get real like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to stay here too long.
100%. And my theory on that is the original part of the building that was the Priory, that was a religious building. The Tudor extension isn't, and you get a lot more activity in that section of the building than the original part.
Yes.
So that's my theory on that one. Like the picture gallery upstairs, which we're going to see later on. That's not nice. I like that.
Generally, I think upstairs has got a very different energy to downstairs.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely. Courtney's seeing something. I think in front of the window is moving the box in front of the window. Is there a box in front of the window?
There is a dressing up box in front of the window, yeah.
Maybe one of the spirits wants to try, maybe they relate to something inside the box. So we are here this evening at Michelham Priory. It is run by Sussex Past. Do you want to tell us something since you're sitting here? Tell us something about Sussex Past.
We are going to be turning 125 years next year.
That's quite impressive.
Yes, so we're going to be running a year-long campaign. So look on our Facebook pages and our website for more information on that. We're going to be running lots of different events, obviously socially distanced in bits at the moment. But there'll be more information on that on our website and our Facebook pages. We've got 6 different sites that are open to the public normally. With the current situation, it's only going to be Michelham Priory and Fishbourne Roman Palace that are going to be open for the time being. So yeah, please come and visit us when we do open. We're going to be opening on the 1st of July for members only, and from the 4th for everybody else. We've obviously struggled throughout this coronavirus situation, with no income at all, no admissions, no cafe, no shop, no nothing. So we need to try and recoup some of the money we've lost over the year so far. So we'd like to see lots of lovely visitors if we can when we reopen.
So that's the important thing, and that's why one of the reasons I wanted to do this was to come and look at these magnificent locations, because the opportunity sometimes just to come and see them after dark is quite special. It is quite magical when you see these places in the quiet, and that's why opportunities like to come ghost hunting or any kind of sort of heritage interpretation that happens out of hours. I always think it's a rather magical opportunity, but I think it's very important that we try and do whatever we can to support these great trusts. So hence the reason why we are running that little ability for you to donate £3 if you text the word to the number that's running down. So you need to text MP Ghost space 3 to 70085 and it will donate £3. There is also a link in the text. Is it a Just Giving page?
No, we have got a total giving page.
Oh, total.
You can get that through the Strike website as well. So if you search for Sussex, you can donate through our total giving page as well.
Harvey saying there was something small and black flickering in the right windowsill. That sounds ominous.
Mm. Sorry, hard to hear you still.
We're sitting as close as we can and socially distanced at the same time. So if you have any questions, do let us know. In a few minutes, we'll be going over so that you can monitor the Gatehouse and see whether there's any activity in that space while we move the cameras from downstairs to upstairs. Catherine saying definitely worth the donation. I think it is. So thank you very much. Oh, right. So vested interest in her saying definitely worth a donation. So Jill's looking forward to visiting when you are fully open again. And the chair with back to us is shadowy.
Again, that is the table that a child-sized figure has been seen running around that table.
First group to ever do a ghost hunt on Halloween. Was that recently or years ago?
Probably years ago, yeah.
Jordan's asking, is there a basin? Unfortunately, no, there isn't. There is an undercroft, which I tried to get the cameras into, but couldn't get the signal in there. But there is not a basement. As far as I know, there's not.
It's not. There is talk of a secret tunnel.
Oh, we love a secret tunnel.
Not found it yet. We're still looking. If we do come across it, we'll let you know.
Louise asking, can we call out again? What we are going to do is we're going to move the cameras very shortly. I think when we do that, I'll do some more calling out upstairs. Oh, Catherine's saying, what's she saying? Some of you are much more sensitive than me. I only really spotted the sphere.
Catherine has actually slept here as well, so
she's brave.
She's very brave.
I'm saying that because I've seen the spiders. Harvey saying, isn't the kitchen meant to be really active? Yes, it is.
Lots of noises in the kitchen. Obviously, it was the refectory when it was the Priory, so there would have been a lot of activity in that area. And that's what we're attributing to the noises now. So,
Donna Carr saying there is a priest hole. Well, do you want to do that one?
You do it if you want.
Well, one of the important things before we even go into the idea of a priest hole is the fact of the fire that occurred here, meaning that a big section of this house was rebuilt in 1927. So, and unless a priest hole was added as a fanciful object, basically a 1920s folly idea, it wouldn't have had something. So you wouldn't have rebuilt something that wasn't needed. And so there is this secret passage that goes. It is just basically a secret passage, isn't it? Is it got a function?
The passage was basically put in the 1920s after the fire, and it was all the utilities, so all the electrics and things like that. So yeah, it's a secret passage, but it's not very old.
So there's not a priest hole as such. There might be other spaces, but many spaces are called priest holes when in fact they are sometimes just as boring as a cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
But the secret passage that everyone talks about is really just a space within the fireplace structure.
It is. It's part of the that goes through the staircase to get to the utilities, isn't it?
Jordan wants to go to the kitchen. So interesting. While we were chatting, and very often what we find is whenever we chat about stuff, sometimes spirits make their presence felt. So what? I thought I saw someone outside the window. There.
There's a shadow that's main window in that parlour.
So while we talked, I thought there was a shadow. I thought I saw someone appear in the middle window.
Mm.
And yes, the shadow on the roof is moving. Why is that? Harvey saw the shadow. Shall I try and get the camera closer?
Yeah, might be an idea.
Right, there we go. This could end in disaster.
Nothing out there, but I can go and have a look if you want to. There's a good question here from Sylvia. Yeah, that's one. So yes, there was someone that lived here called Sarah Child, and she has been associated with the lady that is seen on the Gatehouse bridge, the mother that is crying for her lost child. Sarah Child's 3 or 4 year old was killed in the mill a few hundred years ago. So yes, there was somebody called Sarah that lived here.
That is so odd that we both saw something moving outside and there was definite moving of light on the ceiling. But the lights aren't on outside. I thought that the sort of building lights were on, but they're not, are they?
Floodlights on.
So what did we see on the ceiling? Because nothing's up lighting. Kelly saw someone looking. Oh, no, Kelly saw something. I'll get closer. Sorry, Leslie. Yeah, Kelly saw something through the window. So what we're trying to say is that on the main picture that you're looking at now, we could see that there was a figure looking like it was coming through the window. But on the ceiling, it looked like there were lights. Now, when the floodlights are on outside, they shine upwards. And they shine through the window and obviously light the ceiling. And I just assumed that's what we were seeing. And I thought perhaps it was the leaves moving around in front of it. But Lindsay's just said they're not on. So that couldn't have been what we saw moving on the ceiling. Yes, Sylvia, they did have a fire. Quite substantial, wasn't it? So it looks like you are seeing a face pressed right against the window. But when I was standing there, was definitely no one around moving outside. Oh, look, a child peeking through the window. And it's a shame that I can't get my camera any closer, but it's wired up. There's one on the stairs. It's on the one that's on the staircase. We could try. If you go and grab that, what I can do is try and move this closer, which is very difficult in the dark. So Lindsay's going in and putting, God, that's really lit up the entire room. I can definitely see light on the ceiling. Where's that coming from? From outside? Is that what that? Oh yes, it's strangely out of focus. I thought it was a candle. I was going to attempt to try and move the camera closer, but I think I will unplug everything if I do that. Sylvia's asking who is Leslie, but I think it's because I said it by mistake. That doesn't look like it's in focus. I'm going to try and move the camera slightly.
That's better. Yeah, that's better. still.
How's that?
And I'd move it to the right a little bit. That's a bit better. That's not too bad. It's on the ceiling, so it's not too bad.
Oh gosh, that's bright. So Louise is asking, was there a little girl there called Rosie? I'm sure there was. Most places seem to have a little girl called Rosie.
Well, lots of people that come here on a ghost hunt tend to sense. I have looked through the documents we've got here. There's no sign of a Rosie that I can find, but it's not to say just don't know.
Catherine's saying she's frit. And what was Bill saying? Outside is very active. Two of us saw a blue spectre walk alongside in the gatehouse. Yes, there's supposed to be dark characters in very black outfits, guiding people as they enter. Some said to be one of the monks, if not a prior.
Mm-hmm.
Heidi saying, still can't hear Lindsay. So you need to lean forward. I'll try and move it closer to us.
First time anybody said they can't hear me.
Courtney's saying that the box is open.
It's only slightly open.
Oh, only slightly.
Yeah.
It does look like a doll's trying to climb out.
It does a little bit.
So for any spirits, do you call that the Tudor room? Not the morning room?
Tudor parlour.
Tudor parlour.
Yeah.
For any spirits here in the Tudor parlour, in that space, you move something that the camera is there the outside the window? Could you try and look through?
Oh my God, Courtney, the box is open.
Spirits, we come with the most respect. We'd like to see if you can make a noise or move an object in the Tudor parlour, the room in front of you now. Could you move something towards the window?
You can call out for Thomas in here as well, see if you get any activity.
I'm going to go into the room. I'll shout because otherwise you won't hear me speaking, but I'll try. First, you realise how dark it is here. I can't see where the box is. Is it?
Yeah.
So those spirits here in the Tudor parlour, this room that I'm in, could you, we've seen some things moving in the window, could you try and perhaps pierce the window or move the curtain? There's several objects on the table in front of the window. Can you move any of those? Definitely feeling a lot colder now. I mean, obviously I've opened the windows, but it's definitely cooler in this space.
Ask for the box to be moved.
So, people viewing at home have asked, can you move the box? You open the box, I closed it. Could you reopen it?
Move it. Move any of the objects out of the box. Did it look like it moved?
I didn't see it.
It looks like it's more open than it was.
Do you want me to go in there to see if they respond to me?
Yes.
I probably will fall over though because I couldn't see anything.
Couldn't say that with cable. Right, we are swapping over. Lindsay's going to go into that. Corinne's thinking that she might see someone looking in the top window really high up.
Show yourself to everybody watching at home. If I've seen you in here before, can you show yourself again by the grandfather clock, please? Can you copy me? Can you show yourself in the light form at all? It's really cold over here.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, I thought it, how cold it was in that corner.
It's specifically sort of this area. Yeah. Come on, spirits. And you whistle. Did you hear that?
I did hear that, yes. They're asking, can you knock twice and say copy me?
Yeah. Did they hear that I just did that though? They probably can't hear me very well, can they? Can you copy me, spirits? Did anybody at home hear the whistle that we heard?
So after Lindsay whistled, there was an echoey whistle in the house somewhere. Anthony's asking, how strong is the smell of lavender where you are at the moment? There are lots of floral smells around the house though, aren't there?
Yeah, you tend to get lavender more upstairs. I can't smell anything in here at the moment.
So Lindsay's just saying that she can't smell lavender in there, and usually the floral smells are usually upstairs.
So the spirit of Thomas Sackville is in this area. Can you make a noise, please, or show yourself? Definitely cold, sort of, like the lower legs.
Yes, that's what I felt.
Yeah.
Denise is saying there's a face in the left-hand window.
Whereabouts?
Yes, I'm guessing where you are now. Sophie suggesting knock again.
Knock again. Okay. Can you call me spirits? Ooh. Did anybody hear that?
What did you hear?
It was a man's voice. It literally went,
Oh, no, I didn't. Denise is saying it's top left window.
Well, when we saw the figure in front of the window, it was literally this tall. It was really tall.
Right, while we do this, we are going. So Maria is saying that she did hear a knock after we did knocking.
Okay.
What we're going to have to do now, guys, is that we are going to put the camera over to the gatehouse and move these cameras upstairs so that we can look at the bedrooms and the picture gallery and, of course, the prior's room. So keep commenting. Let us know what you hear. Remember to share. This is Jonathan from Dark Encounters, and remember, you've got an opportunity of donating to the Sussex Past charity, helping to keep this building open so that we can come and visit it when we are fully open again. So I'm going to put you over to the gatehouse. I'll stop talking. Watch that for a while we move the cameras. And I am back. And now in the upper area. And I am adding some new streams. So, which you will hear lots of movement. I'm just going to set the cameras up a little bit more. So give me a moment. I'm going to change the pictures around.
So, hello everyone.
And we're back. We're now upstairs. We are going to be looking at several spaces in the upper rooms. We will have the picture gallery, the front bedroom to look in, quite an eerie space, and we have the Victorian bedroom. And very shortly I'll be removing this camera, it's looking at me, and I shall be showing you the Prior's room in night vision, so you can have a look at that for the Prior's room. Hello, I'm back. So what I've done, I've set up a light, infrared cameras in the Prior's room. And so in that room, in the middle of the room, I have put a rook meter, which you can hardly see. I'm about to reposition the light and the camera. I'm going to let you carry on watching that while I adjust the camera. You can see how dark it is in there without the infrared light. So pardon me while I stumble around in the dark. banging you can probably hear is just me moving my chair. Right, I'm managing to sit down. So the Prior's room has got some interesting, Kirsty's asking, have you got sound? Hopefully you can hear me now. It has been silent for ages because I've basically just been watching you, let you watch the space without me interfering. Trying to get a combination of me narrating what's going on, but also at the same time not letting you think that the internet has dropped, but at the same time allowing you to listen to the space. Jill says she forgot she had sound. Sorry about that. Now the prize room is interesting because it's really part of the oldest sections of the house. Underneath that is the undercroft. I'm looking to Lindsay for confirmation that it is called the undercroft, which I was trying to set up a camera, but I just couldn't get a stable signal in there. But it's the entrance you would come in through if you're going to visit the Priory. So it's immediately above that. And inside the prize room, I'll try and move the camera around later. You have the ability to see the old windows are part of the structure. So we know that the Prior would use this as his private space. It's where all the power broking would have occurred. Remember, the priors of any monastery or priory would have a lot of power with the lords of manor in the area. They were basically the legal system. They held a lot of power and a lot of money. So this is the room where lots of deals were being done. I'm going to shut up so you can listen to this room. I'm sitting outside it, just by the door. So if you need me to go in, do let me know. So I'm just going to go into the prior's room and move the cameras slightly. So Julie's asking, I like the fact that Lindsay's sitting next to you whispering. So by all accounts, she can't hear us anyway, so it doesn't matter. Julie's asking, is that the room where there's a mannequin dressed as a monk? Yes, there used to be. So in fact, the chair you can see just the right in front of that tapestry is where the monk used to be. But the monk is no longer there. How long has the monk been gone?
Oh, years.
Oh, years, right.
Years, yeah.
So Julie,
About
you
5
obviously
years.
haven't been there for years. Do let us know if you see anything in that room. Lindsay's whispering next to me. Did we bring the K2 up? Yes, we did. It currently is on the floor, just where the text is running. There's a tiny little light. That is the K2. I'm going to move it and put it onto the desk. I might trip up on the way.
The spirits in the prize room can't make noise. If you show yourself a light, if you show yourself, I think some people have said they've seen faces in that window. If you show yourself in that window, if this is where you would sit, perhaps you want me to move. And you can form out of the prize. You like to get out of the truth. Yes. Don't speak very loudly, so the microphone outside can hear me. Would you like me to move?
So, we're trying to reconnect the microphone into the prior's room unsuccessfully. Technology is not playing ball tonight. So, I'm going to sit in the either Victorian's room or the child's bedroom and see if we pick anything in here. First thing I'm detecting is there is a chill in here. So I'm sitting on the floor and there's obviously no curtains, but it's really cold down here. There are any children in this room. Would you like to come and play? Lots of objects for you to come and play with. Could you swing the rope? Could you whistle? Some toys up here. Do you want to come and play with those? Come and sit next to me and we could play one of these games.
And you knock, Jonathan, someone's asking.
I'll knock on the floor and then perhaps you can repeat. I've knocked 3 times on the floor. Perhaps you could knock on one of the surfaces. Plus, knock here. Do you knock back? Was that you tapping on the desk? I don't know if you can see the desk from the angle. You can see if you sort of move on it.
If I come in a little tune in there, we do get a lot of children singing.
So Lindsay has suggested that we do get children singing in this room. So I'll hum a song and perhaps you could hum along too. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You know that song? Was that you who just whispered? Could you whisper louder so that other people could hear you? Could you whistle that song that I was singing? I'm going to go into the picture gallery. Do you want to come and follow me in there? So I'm in the picture gallery. Got an echo in here. So if you were the little child that was next door, do you want to come in this room? Are you allowed in this room?
Did you see footsteps in there when you sat down?
Yes.
I heard those on this camera as well.
That's weird. It was almost as if the footsteps of someone following me in.
Yeah.
Was that you who followed me into this room? Do you want to come and play? Could you whistle the song that I was whistling earlier? You want to come and sit down?
Just so you know, there's noises down on the staircase behind us as well.
So Lindsay's saying there's some noises occurring downstairs. So do you want to come upstairs? Come up to the front bedroom.
And Sharon heard a slight hum, she said.
Has anyone seen anything behind me? Because there's something moving behind me. I've just heard several whispered voices. It seems as if there's people outside.
Maria said she thought she heard a whistle.
Such a headache in here.
Anything to the left of the fireplace?
There, this side. Oh, it was this side I kept hearing things. Ooh. Weird, pins and needles. There's sort of an area that's cold and it's really sort of tingly when you put your hands out. It warms up again. But I'm going to ask you to keep an eye on this area and see whether if I go out of the room, it changes.
It is a strange sound. So I'm stood by the computer at the moment watching the feed. There was a very strange feeling in that. Such a crisp atmosphere, and there was whistles and whistles. This was like day, just a day, and people walking out on the grounds and just having conversations. It was like there were people outside. Then I realised that the sound was loud. It wasn't from outside, but big voices in the room. Now there's some sounds occurring on the staircase. It's almost as if we move the cameras away, and then they're going to start reacting. It's like a screaming.
It's cold here, so I'm really cold on my back.
Yeah, there's definitely. So if there's any area to I'm sitting here with this. So let us know what God, it's all right. Yeah, quite good. There's something I suppose it's just the only thing. There is such a sense of quiet.
I have come back in here. It's a very echoey room, and I think you've got a better sound going on here. The computer I'm not connected up is, I think, losing signal. I think it's struggling slightly. So I'm going to do some more calling around here. If there's anything you want to do, let me know. Definite chill going on at the moment. There's a sense of, there's an atmosphere which we didn't have earlier. It's quite pleasant downstairs earlier, apart from attraction. But there's, foreboding is too strong a word, but there's a sense of anticipation. And there's something about this room that really weighs on your shoulder. It's like I had this constant urge to turn around. It's like this in people saying, it's like you've got really angry parents behind you. You know if you make eye contact, you're going to get a right earful. It just feels like that, but I shouldn't be in there. Any spirits up here in the picture gallery, in the front bedroom? We would like to come and speak to you. We'd like to find out some more about you. Perhaps you could come forward and communicate with us. Perhaps you could make a sound. We have a camera in front of me. They can hear your voices. They will be able to see you move. You can create a light, maybe move an object. Several flowers, an object by the fireplace. Could you try and move one of those?
So Kelly's saying every time you go in this room, she gets a very uneasy feeling and her heart races.
If I knock, can you knock back?
I'm just going to answer a question, Jonathan. So, Jill, this is a room in the Tudor extension of the house, but the interior is 1920s as it was gutted after the fire.
Thank you.
Leslie's asking, can you take K2 in there, please?
Yes, I'll.
Can we get it?
K2 from the prior screen. So in front of me, I have placed a Brook meter, which is similar to a K2 or EMF. It will detect any changes in the EM field, and the lights will appear to its side, and it will start screeching if we see something going on. So any spirits in here, I've got an object in front of me. Perhaps you can affect it, make the lights light up on it. Step forward, there's an object in front of you, black object with 3 little legs. See if you can influence it, affect it in some way, so its lights change. Keep looking at this one. I am sending Lindsay into the room. She hates this room, so it'll be interesting to see what she gets.
If there are any spirits in the room, you make a sound, please. Knock on the walls, stamp your feet. Can you copy me? Keep thinking I can hear whistling coming from out there. Jonathan, can you hear me whistling?
No, sorry, I wasn't actually paying attention. What did you say?
Can you? I've just whistled and asked them to copy me, and I keep hearing very faint whistles, but from further away in the house. Can you hear anything out there?
It wasn't from this direction, no.
It was from that direction, but further away, like staircase sort of area.
Do it again and I'll make sure my mic is muted.
Can you copy me, please? Are there any spirits from the right family with us tonight? If there are, can you make yourselves known, please? So, Jill, in response to your question, I don't like this room because I've done mirror scrying in here as part of a ghost hunt. One of the party were overlaid by a man, their face was overlaid by a man. And I knew the lady that was doing the mirror scrying, and she came up to me afterwards and grabbed my arms and said, please tell me I'm not going to take anything home. And I felt a big jolt go through my body, and I felt rubbish for about 2 months afterwards. And I've had lots go on in this room, shadow figures. I always feel like I'm being watched in here. So I try and avoid this room as much as possible normally. Just got a real uneasy feeling about this room, and it's the only room in the whole house where I get that sense. Anyone sensing anything behind me by the window? This one.
Lindsay, Tammy has spotted a movement of a figure behind you, this dark brown.
Behind me?
Yes.
Whereabouts?
Tammy, whereabouts in the room?
The temperature has definitely dropped in here. I keep looking behind me because it feels like someone's blowing. Yeah, it feels like somebody's blowing on the back of my hair.
It's easier to come in. On the screen, there's a sort of black shadow here.
Okay.
Someone saw movement here, and other people have been saying in front of it, it's actually in front of it.
Yeah.
Somewhere along here. So just checking. Because when I had when we were in London, they were saying there's something moving upstairs. It was so I just thought I'd take the opportunity to make sure. There's nothing moving on. There's nothing moving on.
But here, I definitely get that.
So when I was sitting there constantly, as if it just felt as if I had two people. It was two people standing there like this, glaring at me, knowing that I was about to go into the toilet.
Yeah.
Just such disapproval.
This is definitely a man. I definitely, and it's just like little literal, just in my head.
That's sort of like what I had. It was that and whisper, voice.
No, I can't hear it. It's just it feels cold.
It was a sense that it was coming out of human.
It's definitely this side though, 100%.
I'll go back to the cameras.
Can you knock? I'm going to come out of here in a minute because I'm getting a real uneasy feeling in here.
It's interesting. While I've been seated here, there has been footsteps out in the corridor down by the stairs, and there was a noise to my left, which is actually the prize room, which I'm showing on the screen. So I'm going to go into the prize room and see whether I can feel anything in that space. We will be closing down shortly, so if there's anywhere you'd like us to go, just let us know.
Your shadow looks like someone's sitting right behind you, Jonathan. Sharon thinks she can hear movement.
Welcome back. So what we're doing now is Lindsay has gone over to the Gatehouse, and she is going to be alone in the Gatehouse and do some calling out. I'm going to stay here and guard the house for the spiders, just in case. So I'm currently seated out in the corridor. So to my right, I have the Victorian bedroom. Behind me, I have the picture gallery. To my left is the opening of the prior's room. So I'm in the middle. So if any noises at all, I can hear in all of these spaces anything going on. But what we're going to do, as soon as I see Lindsay on the Gatehouse camera, I shall put her on and put the microphone on so you can hear what you can do. Courtney's asking, can you get a spirit to move the object on the bench in the Gatehouse? Well, that's exactly what I'll do when I get Lindsay up there. So in the meantime, I'm going to put you back to that picture gallery, because that was definitely the most strangest feeling in there. Most of the rooms we've been into are quite pleasant, a little bit sinister, a little bit dark, terrified that spiders are going to attack you. But in here, there's a sense that there is someone standing behind you, and they really don't want you in that room. There was a sense in this tiny Victorian bedroom that there was an atmosphere. There felt like someone. There was. I'm sure there was a whisper in my ear when I was seated on the floor. It was like a child wanted to come and play. But the picture gallery, there's something about that room that just is very unsettling. And then when I was in the prior's room, there was a definite sound by the window. And that's where people have been seeing faces in the window all night. And not to forget, of course, what we had in the Tudor room earlier in the evening, the faces appearing at the window, that tall dark figure that we all saw, and that the shadows on the ceiling, which really made no sense because we could see these shadows moving and there were no uplighting. I thought the external lights were on, and they weren't. I've just stopped because there was a noise from inside the prior's room. That's quite unsettling. Yeah. So there's no sign of Lindsay yet in the Gatehouse. So although we've done lone vigils, there has been always somebody else on site for safety. And of course the key holder. When I was the brickwork, I was the key holder, so it was all right. But the sense now that I am alone here in this really dark space of the prior's room is, yeah, it's quite scary. Hello, Lindsay. So I'm all alone, and I'm hearing all sorts of noises in the priest's room, the prior's room, and you're all alone in the Gatehouse.
Yeah, I'm all alone, and it's really, really warm compared to the house.
Courtney's asking, can you get a spirit to move an object on the bench in the Gatehouse?
Give it a go. Let's put something. Okay. Can you see that box open? Can you hear me?
What was I looking at?
See this on the camera?
If you can move it towards you slightly. That's better. Perfect.
Okay. are any spirits in the Gatehouse with us this evening? Can you move the leather mug that's on the table, please? Push it off. Throw it against the wall. Use your energy. Give it a little shove. I'll walk away from it. You make noise. If there are any spirits in the room. You bang on the tables. Stamp your feet. Push the mug off the table. Just heard a very slight tap, Jonathan.
So there was someone saying that they heard something in that room. And strange enough, I had another footstep in the prize room next to me.
Yes, hear your footsteps when you walk down the stairs. Let's have another tap to the right of me then. If you're standing behind me, to the right of me, can you move something so we can see that you're there? You copy me? Just a noise on the stairs. I don't know if you picked that up. Come on, Spirit, move something on the table. I know you're in here because I can hear little clicks and taps. definite movement on the stairs. Spirit, walk up the stairs and meet us. Are there any soldiers in here from World War II? Standing next to the map. You come down to where I'm standing. Put your voice up in here from upstairs.
Lindsay, if it's quietened down, did you want to come back over?
Yeah.
No problem. Right, you come over and I'll talk to the people live a bit.
Okay.
Safe journey. So back to me. So to explain a little bit about where I am, I can put this overlay. The lower image is the ground floor. It shows the Undercroft and Skype, which we couldn't make it, but the Tudor wing is the two rooms that we were in the beginning. The Tudor kitchen is where the great big spiders were. And the upstairs is the prize chamber, which I'm sitting outside of now. The Tudor wing is then what was marked as the picture gallery. And you see the tiny little space next to it, which is to the Victorian bedroom. But also then I can show you, stepping out is even the original church structure. You can see exactly how big the whole area was, and the bottom section is showing really the little space that we are on. And if you want to see what the abbot's room should have been like, that's what it was. In fact, so that little video starts with exactly where I'm seated, is right through that doorway. So I've got that space in total darkness at the moment. And it is very cold. So here at Michelham Priory, it is now 6 minutes to midnight, and I'm all alone in the Priory building in the Tudor section. It's very cold. I just wore a jacket. A little worried about going into the kitchen because there's enormous spiders. It's a tiny little corridor and there's 6 spiders in there. So if there's any other areas you'd like me to go to before we close down, do let me know. If anybody wants to come on live and join me, they can. I can put you on the screen and your screen will appear in the room and you can talk to the spirits directly. Just let me know. But hopefully what we're going to do is come back again, if they'll have us, at the end of July, and then we'll bring some of the team with me, and they will be in lockdown in individual areas, and I can check on them and see how they're going. And then again, we could have a person join them virtually. So there's just 2 of you in the room, and you can have the investigation going while the rest of us watch. Trisha saying, thank you for this evening. And gosh, those spiders, yes, they are probably the biggest things I've ever seen. I really thought the one at Wimmering was enormous, but this is enormous. And its friends. One would have been bad enough, but there were at least 6. So I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be going and revisiting places such as Wimmering, the Brickworks, and we've got a few new places lined up as well that we're going to do some lives, just as an opportunity so you can see these amazing locations after dark. We're trying to show you as much as we can. Obviously, the internet is a little tricky in places like this. If there's 4G, it makes it much more fluid. I can move around the cameras, but here I'm having to set Wi-Fi routers all over the building to try and give me signals into spaces. Yes, Tina, you want me to go back to the kitchen, but I'm not going through that corridor with the spiders. So Jill's asking where next to, I don't know, we're going to find out, but hopefully we'll be returning to some of the locations we've been. And some new ones. It's all just in terms of whether we can get the technology to live stream. Some places we go to are beautiful, but there is no signal and no Wi-Fi. We've got places with no power, so that's going to be a challenge. But we're going to make it happen. Like we've managed to do it tonight. Thank you, Sharon. Yes, it is an incredible place. Courtney wants me to go back into the prize room. Which I could do, but I've just switched all the lights off. I can show you. I can move this around and go look. That's what I'm sitting next to. That's the prize room. Tammy wants to go back to Wimmering. I can ask and see if they'll have us back. I'm sure they'd like to. Courtney wants to go live. Well, I think we're going to close down very shortly. I've got another request for the prize room. So I will put the camera back on at the prize room and go and sit in there. Just give me a moment. While I reset the camera, I shall put you back into the picture gallery while I do this. So we are here in the Prior's room. Hopefully you've got sound coming through. But I'm probably going to be quite close to the camera, so you've got some kind of proximity to the camera. I'll back into the room. Quite an enormous space. Got a lovely comfortable feel to it. Strange how when it's very dark, it's very ominous, and there's lots of lights and sounds in this room, but when you're in here, I think it's a bedroom, it'd be really comfortable.
Can I just say, I have actually slept in there and it is really comfortable.
So Lindsay's now back from the Gatehouse and she's monitoring the computer, so look at your comments. So I'm standing, not able to see anything. See, it does, so it's Lindsay's, I can speak to Lindsay outside the room, talk about social distancing, totally different room. But there is a really comfortable feel. I would have thought, because of the reputation of this room, it would have had an ambience to it, felt strange. I don't know whether anything's coming across on the camera, whether you've got any objects and whether you've got the faces in that window again. There is spirits here in this room. Do you want to try and communicate with us in some way? I know sometimes in the room above there's been footsteps, objects dragged around upstairs. I definitely heard footsteps in this room earlier. Any of the previous occupants, any of the monks that might have worked here, lived here? Thank you, Spirit. If that was you who tapped in the corner, could you do it again, but louder? Could you form a shape that we could see? Really bright picture. So for some reason the camera decided to switch itself off, so maybe they didn't want us filming in here after all. So interesting. Is anybody asking us to do anything?
No.
I was thinking we could try and get down to the entrance hall, but it means moving a lot of the cameras. So Spirit, we're going to have to close this down now. So this is your final opportunity to let us know that you are here. If you're happy with us here, do you want to try and switch the camera off again? If not, I'm going to walk out of the space. Perhaps you could try and move something when I'm not here. Right, what we're going to attempt, we're going to try and move a camera down to the entrance, the undercroft, which is immediately below me. It's tricky because there's all stone, so the Wi-Fi signal isn't getting through. But we're going to just move everything now and see if we can get something. So I'm going to go offline temporarily. Bear with me. Right, we're back. Promised you the undercroft. That is where we are. So I'm now immediately underneath where I was before in the sort of priory was up there. Now we are the undercroft. So spectacular room, and a quick check. So behind me is the door, the front door you would come in, and then this beautiful medieval structure, vaulted undercroft. So we just had to quickly move all the internet cables down here to basically give me the signal. So I did try to set up a camera earlier. So Barry's saying the entrance hall is where he felt someone low in his face. The two guys in the party just felt it. We have another camera. So this is the Skype. We can prove where we are by, if I go out this door, this one. So you can see this is quite spectacular. And the whole entrance down here, this is going. That is the old entrance that the monks would use to this undercroft. It's a shortcut. Let me point onto this camera, then at least you can see me and I can see what you're saying. So, some Hammer House of Horror. So if there's anything you want me to do with it now with the entrance hall, I've got internet now in this entrance hall section. Is the front door open? Is it? Can we go to the front door? Let's do that. That would have been freaky if it had. I wondered if the signal got outside and then we could. Right, I'll leave my camera. So I'll leave that looking at the front door. Oh, yes, please, yeah. Another camera. Okay. Now on this camera. Those heel boots. Yes, there was a lot of it because there was several cameras which was produced a lot of. So I think that's a big opportunity. That is a good opportunity to get this camera. We should better get. Right, I mean that's weird on that corner. So you can appear that corner. Social distance. Just that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for letting us trips around, meeting their little pet collection of tarantulas, which is right outside the team. It's very small scale, August, very small scale, and we might start building it up again, and obviously come and see them during the day, and obviously look around the grounds. I guess the ground. Excellent thing. You can support them as quickly as possible when we get opening again. So that's another lockdown live. We recorded one with some woods as an outside investigation to see what it would be like if we tried to do live from a woods that was actually a cemetery as well. 5,500 people buried under where we were investigating. So I've been editing that video cameras as well as the live video. So I'll be putting posting them up over the weekend as well. So hope you all stay safe. See you again on another Dark Encounter. Good night all.